Australian researchers will give dying patients synthetic magic mushrooms in a bid to ease their anxiety and fear of death. The trial at St. Vincent's Hospital in Melbourne will see patients given a single dose of the psychedelic drug, which will last for 6 hours. It's hoped that the experience give them a new perspective on death. For more, I'm joined now by Dr. Margaret Ross, a studies leader and clinical psychologist. Dr. Ross, thank you so much for joining us on Newsday. How do you hope that this synthetic magic mushroom will have an impact on patients' anxiety?
Well, we'd seen that there were some studies coming out of the US in 2016 at Johns Hopkins and NYU where they were using psilocybin-assisted psychotherapy. So not just psilocybin, but also psychotherapy in preparation and also integration post their dose for people who had depression and anxiety in cancer. And what they found was they had a very rapid and dramatic improvement in anxiety and in depression, none of the likes we'd seen before at all, and that was sustained at 6 months follow-up. So, and that was in around the percentage of around between 60 to 80% of the patients who participated. So doctor, needless to say, the results were pretty staggering. How do you plan to carry out this study, and how do you plan to choose your patients? So our patients are obviously people who have depression or anxiety as a result of having a terminal illness. They're at our hospital at St. Vincent's in Melbourne. And if they identify as having depression or anxiety that's really just not responding to our current treatments, which are medication or psychotherapies or creative therapies like music or art therapy, then they're offered the opportunity to be screened, but they're very rigorously screened. It's worth noting that this is not for everybody. Psychedelics can be they can be quite harmful, I guess, for people who have a history of psychosis or bipolar, or other kind of things that we need to be looking for. So that we're very, very careful how we screen.
And doctor, you have been a big driver of this study, despite some people telling you it could kill your career. Why is it so important to you?
Look, I think as a clinician, when you see that people who are not responding to the current treatments that are available, it's heartbreaking. You've got patients who are, profoundly distressed and terrified, and this precious remaining time that they do have, they spend, withdrawn, or they're unable to be present, fully and be able to enjoy their lives. And it's heartbreaking for the patients. It's heartbreaking for their families, and they're really robbed of that very meaningful time. And as a clinician, that's very hard to see that. And when there's really nothing more that we can do, we really hit the limits of medicine and psychiatry. So it was a no-brainer for me. Yes, I was told it could potentially kill my career, but I think it's a very different motivation when you see that level of suffering.
We wish you all the best of luck, doctor, with this study, and hope that it will be successful. Dr. Margaret Ross, study leader and clinical psychologist at St. Vincent's Hospital.